Hello, everybody. It is my great pleasure today to introduce Steve Dorsum and Gordon Ditzworth from Images of Eden. Hello, guys.
Thank
How
you.
you
Thanks for
doing?
having us, Helmet.
We've been planning this for a while, and it's really fun for me to do this. Gordon and I, we know each other a good 14 years, maybe. It's
Yeah, I think since 2010,
Yeah, the
maybe.
12, yeah, so maybe around there, maybe for 12, 14 years. And Steve is, well, how long have you been with the band now, Steve?
I don't know, 5 or 6 years, Gordon. Is that right?
Yeah, I
Something
think
like that.
you came in right around 2015 when we were talking about the demos to Soul Rise,
Yeah.
and
Okay,
yeah,
So yeah, 6, maybe 7 years now. So
amazing. I remember we talked about this before. I remember that, when Gordon was putting his music together and out there, and it was always difficult, to find a band and put a band together.
mhm,
And we all the musicians know how difficult it is actually is to put a band together because
mhm,
it's a bit like a marriage. And so I
mhm.
am very, very happy for you, especially Gordon, that you have found such a great team now.
it finally have, and it only took about 20 years to make that happen, and there have been 22 members of this band
Mm.
over the years. So yeah, it's taken a little while.
Amazing, amazing. So I know you just had a massive tour in the States, so maybe we can talk about that, and maybe we can, describe a little bit what the band does for any viewers who have not been introduced to Images of Eden. Maybe give us a quick rundown of history, Gordon, and we go from there.
Okay, yeah, history. We actually, believe it or not, when you look at our last few releases, people think we only have 3 releases. We actually have 6 releases. But we started, our first release was in 2001. And the whole MO back then, I played all the instruments except drums, had a session drummer handle the drums, and I was going to use that to actually try to form the band. And it worked. I mean, we had a couple of different incarnations. It seemed like there was a revolving lineup for the first several albums, for the first 3 albums, especially Chapter One, Sunlight of the Spirit, and Rebuilding the Ruins, which is actually when we met you, Helmet,
That's right.
during
That's
the
right.
Rebuilding
Rebuilding
the
the
Ruins.
no, actually before, because I remember when you came out with the artwork for that, and we already knew each other then.
That's right. Okay, so yeah, we
Yes.
were in the process of actually releasing Ruins, and without going into all the details, you were originally supposed to release that, but we know what all the red tape and all the junk that happened after that. But anyway, it is what it is, and it took a little, I don't want to say time off after Rebuilding the Ruins, but I had a lot going on in life and a very full plate, which kind of explained the 7 years between Rebuilding the Ruins and Soul Rise. But during that time, I did some vocals for hire, connected with Steve. Steve was actually with a band called Born of Fire. I actually jumped in there and did vocals for that band for the album Dead Winter Sun. We kind of co-released it together, and we were like, man, we worked so well together. I knew what was happening with Images, and I was working on the Soul Rise demos. So I sent them to Steve. I said, I know you have 1,000,001 things on your plate, but what are the chances of you wanting to join up? And I think that's when, he listened to it and said, okay, I'm there. And Steve, I
Mhm.
can let you kind of go from there if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, I had Born of Fire was kind of my baby, and to make a long story short, we had a little incident with our old singer, and he left, and we had a release that was due, and so we found Gordon, and he came in like 2 or 3 months and wrote lyrics and put vocals down and recorded them, and we did the record like Gordon said. We did the business part together, we released it together. We found we worked really well together, but then Gordon introduced me to his baby, which was Images of Eden, and say, I got some demo music I want you to listen to. I'd really like you to play drums, and I like your style. I think it fits with what we're doing. And I'm like, oh gosh, I don't even, without even listening to it, I don't know. I mean, I got so much going on, and this is my baby, Born of Fire, and we had a lot happening. So anyway, I said, all right, well, let me listen to it, and I'll see. And so I gave it like a week, and I listened to the songs, and they really grew on me and in me. And it really hit me so hard one day, Helmet. I was driving to work one day, and I literally, it hit me all of a sudden like a wave of bricks. And it's kind of unexplainable, but I felt it. I was connected. I was hooked. I pulled over on the side of the road. I was literally in tears, and I told
Wow.
Gordon, I go, I'm in. And not only am I in, I'm putting everything that I work for over here on this side, I'm putting it all to rest. And we're going to go full board with Images of Eden.
Wow.
But what I'd like to do, though, is I'd like to rebrand everything and restart, get the right musicians in our group so we don't go through this revolving door again like you did in the past. You get the true guys with the same hearts, the same mindset as you do, and then it's going to work. So right character, musicians on and off stage, is very important. We have a really tight-knit group, a special message that we put out to the fans in our music within the recording and how we present it on stage live. And so it was very important to have a good character guys that's within our hearts and how we think. And I knew if we did that, we'd have a solid group. So we immediately went to work. Gordon already had Dean. I had a bass player in mind, which is Eric, who's with us now. And then we needed a good lead guitar player. And Gordon knew Carlos, who lived in Mexico, and they had an acquaintance on social media in the past. And yeah, he was really on board with what we were doing. And we heard him play, and we were like, yes, please, yes, sign right here. And so, that all came together, and we did Soul Rise together. And then beyond that, we just kind of defined and grew and went through all the mountains and valleys and good and bad times, and of course helping people along the way is what we do within our music. And yeah, so now we've got a good foundation we've been building the past 4 years really hard.
Yeah, and the new EP, Torn and Weathered and Torn, you sent it to me a few days ago, and I've been listening to it maybe 5 times since, and I was really, really blown away. And I mean,
wow, okay.
Actually, what I'm really always happy about too is in the mix, they made your voice louder, Gordon, than
Well,
before.
I mixed this one.
That explains that. That explains that,
That's
right?
Good on you. Because I always say to him, your voice needs to be louder for me anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm happy you did that. But man, blew me right away. And your drumming is just fantastic, Steve. And the other guys, the guitarists. And I mean, it's like where you're taking it musically is so out of this world for me, because you don't repeat stuff. It's not like a chorus, a verse, and then we do chorus, and we do verse, and we do chorus, and we do bridge. No, you take it like all the time somewhere else. And it is just so exciting. It's just really, really well done.
Well, I appreciate that. One thing we try to do is kind of walk the line between unpredictability and what your brain and what your ear is hoping to hear.
Handle.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand that completely now, having listened to it a few times.
But it's become like a natural kind of input of arrangement now that we do now, because that's kind of our style of writing and whatnot. And just to touch on the Weathered and Torn record, that it took those past 4 years to get up to this point, I think, where we're all settled in and we all kind of like opened our hearts and really let the gates flow with our musicianship and our abilities and whatnot. And I thought and plus too, on this record, as you know, some of our previous releases, we got really, really heavier with this one, a real more of aggression output, and Gordon will attest to this also. And that was kind of by design on this one, of course. And it was the past 2 years that we've all been through in this whole world. And if you know what I mean, we've been through a lot of bad things, a lot of lies and corruptions and disease and death and, crippling people financially because of it all, and just, closing things down. I mean, it's a lot of people were, upset. And so we wanted to organically show our reaction to the last 2 years that we've all been through. And like, we're a very relatable band. Gordon will tell you this. We're very relatable in the lyrics that he writes and the actual music that we present. And we wanted to be very relatable on this one, get heavy, show some aggression, give people kind of like a knock them around a little bit, give them,
Wake
a
him up a
release.
bit.
Give them a release, and it's very organic. There's no gimmick to this. It was just how we felt, and we turned it up a little notch. And there you go. So
I very much like that the lyrics are questioning what's going on in the world today. It's not like another love song. It's like, hey, who the hell are you and what the hell is going on? And I really appreciate that. And who are you and who are we in all of that's going on? And I think, when you look at the 60s and the music that was written back then, a lot of musicians were writing stuff about really what was important in the world, and I think it's so important that artists and musicians keep doing that we are the ones who keep questioning, and that we are the ones who keep asking questions. And you guys really did that with that record. So fantastic.
Sure.
Appreciate that, Helmut. And the one thing we try to do too, going along with what you just said, is music is relatable, and music speaks beyond the intellectual. It goes right into the soul. And because of that, it has the ability to heal, but it also has the ability to hurt. And if you look at the last couple of years and with our message and talking about, we're a positive band. We've always been a positive band. We always want to shed the light that's happening in the world. However, we weren't very happy with what was going on, and we were all affected. And basically what we're saying is it's okay to be pissed off, and it's okay not to be okay. So even, I don't want to use the word negativity, but even if something was aggressive or negative, there's always that light at the end of the tunnel. Even if something is harsh, like the song Coexistence or the song Weathered and Torn, there's always the light at the end of that tunnel. But in getting there, people use music as an outlet. They want to be able to listen to something that'll transport them. And if it's something that they can really relate to, and they could use this as a release rather than drugs and alcohol, then that's great. So that's kind of another plus, because everybody shut down, with the pandemic. We have to keep everybody inside. You can't go out, but you can go out to the liquor store and you can go out to your Walmarts, but you can't do anything else. So they're not going to really talk about this, but I know a lot more alcoholism and drug abuse took place during that time. And yeah. So hopefully this could kind of undo that. That's a healthy way of letting out aggression.
Yeah, we've got on my label, I've got a couple of bands actually 3 are from New Zealand. They're thrash metal bands, and in Venezuela, and it's a very suppressed society there as well. And for them, it's, as you say, it's an expression of what's going on in this world, and I don't see it as negative at all. I see it as a cry for help. I see it as a cry for, hey, let's make this world real and a better place, because it can be.
Perfect.
And that's how I see you guys as well.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah. So please tell a little bit about the last tour. What went down? I mean, I watched you on Facebook, and I followed you, and I saw how was it for you?
It was good. It's always a big mountain to climb in the beginning, because you got so many dates ahead of you, a lot of unknowns, getting settled in with the other bands on the rolling production and all that. But, we toured with Yingwei last year. We went on 2 full U.S. tours in 11 months, basically. So we've been pretty busy on the touring.
Yeah.
But this was a much better tour. We went on just with the logistics and everything. Everybody was really cool. The Michael Schenker group, all those guys were outstanding. We also toured with Eric Martin, who's also on the bill, and a bunch of well-known musicians that he put together for that touring act for that one. But all good guys. We all had a good time. There was no problems with any of that. But with anything in the music business, you're going to have your little bumps and bruises along the way. And yeah, we had a couple, but we were expecting them, and we got over it, or worked it out, or whatever it was, and moved on. And we built each other live on stage as well. Because Helmut, we don't live in the same town. We don't get to practice every day together. We all live across this whole country, And when it's time to tour, we'll all get together and, of course, come in ready and everybody's well rehearsed and knows their parts. And we'll come together in Phoenix, Arizona to my place and we'll rehearse for a few days. We'll load up the tour van and we'll head out. And it works well. We've been doing it just fine. But you gotta have a lot of self-discipline when you're coming in for this. And we do. And we make sure we're all ready to go. But yeah, I tell you, we played a lot of seated theaters on this one. And, which you got to see, you're going to sit down and watch the show. You just can't help that. But, and there was some stand-up venues and some as well. But I will tell you, I'm going to give Gordon some props here. I mean, when you're playing sold out sit down theaters and people are going to enjoy the show on their seat, yeah, clap and they're on their seat, yeah. But when you can stand up a whole theater and get everybody out of their seats and stand up with their arms in the air, I want to give this young man credit right here, Gordon. I mean, because he worked the crowd every night and did a great job. It's hard to do. I mean, even the Michael Schenker group and Eric Martin group are watching us from side stage. Goes, wow, you guys are really doing a good job warming them up for us. So you're bringing them to their feet. I mean, that's awesome. And we closed with Fight the Good Fight at the end of our set. And, it was kind of a familiar song for the crowd too. So that helped a little bit. But, I thought we did a really good job pleasing the crowd out there. I thought we played great on stage. We played with fire every night. We had a mentality and we talked about it every day before we hit the stage. Gordon, you got anything to add to any of that?
No, that was pretty much it. The definite obstacle was the seated theaters because, like Steve's saying, if you're in a standing room only with a club, you're already up and you're already moving and the adrenaline's already there. But sometimes when you're in a seated theater, I mean, it's like you're watching a play or something. You're just sort of
you can't help it.
Yeah.
We have a little more work to do on those people.
Of course.
Yeah, but it was a real good time. I got to see parts of America that I've never seen before, and I live here. So a fall time in the month of October is just a great time to tour in America because it's fall, all the leaves are turning, it's beautiful, the weather's mild, and so all that was really nice. But yeah, we made it through unscathed. We traveled 9,000 miles and 150 hotel rooms and and 25 shows, and a lot of them were sold out. So it went really well.
Yeah, fantastic. So what's next? What's the plan?
Well, right now we are adamant about getting over to Europe. Like I said, we've toured the U.S. 4 times now in the last 2 or 3 years or whatever, and that's our target audience over there right now. And I believe that. And I mean, we've created this EP, Weathered and Torn. We want that to be our business card, our key to come over to Europe and play for everyone over there. I think everyone over there will really enjoy us, will like us. I hope, but that's what I think. But that's our goal.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure the European audience is going to eat you up. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really hope that could happen. But that's our goal right now. So what we're doing right now, we are just adding to our live library right now and putting some more songs in there. We're learning those, and Gordon and I are just working some business on the side, and I think we've got a good plan to start working with for the new year, and so we're just going to see how that all pans out. But our goal is to get over there.
And kind of simultaneously with that, working on new material, because as anybody knows, however long you think it takes to write and record an album, double it and add about 25%. So you always want to be kind of ahead of the game with writing. And that's kind of, I've already, I've got multiple songs that are kind of at different stages of demo. So now, I mean, I just recently in the last week or two really kind of rolled my sleeves up and kind of dove back in. I mean, it's a little hard to start back in when everything is kind of in cycles. You write and record an album, and you get in that zone, the writing zone, the recording zone. Then you shift out of that for promo, release, admin. Then you have to wear your business hat for a while. Then you go on tour, whole nother animal. So when you get back, you kind of have to. All right, what's next? Oh, yeah, I have to write again. Okay, and then shake off the dust from your
from the tour.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
It's,
we're always
it's
busy,
always,
Helmet.
it's
We're
always
always
a
busy.
difficult one in my experience, coming off a tour and you're going into a mundane life because on the tour it's all crazy, and then you going into business or job or do whatever you do. It's usually not so easy.
Yeah, that
I
too.
noticed that.
That too. Yeah, for
I mean, I
sure.
gotta tell you, we've toured before, and I mean, the Soul Rise tour, I definitely felt kind of like the machine still in motion when we got home there. I had to walk that off for a little bit. Angel Born tour, I don't know why, but I kind of slipped right in. It was kind of like I flipped the switch. But on this one, when we got home, I mean, I wasn't right for probably 2 weeks. It took me a solid 2 weeks to come back to normal just because of the intensity level of this tour.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, I think you probably agree the intensity level on this tour had its polar extremes, even more so than the other ones.
Yeah, I think Helmet, we were really, really focused on this tour because we kind of knew what we were doing, so to speak. You know what I mean? We had an agenda of making sure we make that connection, that we play well every night, and no matter what arrows we get shot with, the terrible road, all the way that it takes to get to the stage, we got to shake it off and we got to put a show on. And that was our focus every night because.
Awesome.
You know, we had a lot of traveling. There's some days we had a brutal travel day and we had to get there and it was a disaster at the venue and we had to work through everything and the doors are opening and we got to set up and you got to go and you got to shake all that off and put on a good show. And Barron, the bass player for Michael Schenker, you know, he was talking to us backstage in St. Charles, I think, Gordon, and he was saying, Steve, he was telling me that same thing. Don't matter what bullshit you go through all day long, just to make it up there, you want to know the important part of your day, the most important part of your day, and that's your time on stage. That's all that matters. That's it.
Right.
And so we try to take that, adopt that mentality, and really grow with that, and it worked. You know, I think it worked. So, to allude back to that point earlier, yeah, we were so focused. I don't think I was able to enjoy the moment. You know what I mean? Until I got home and I'm thinking about, oh wow,
What has
that
this happened?
or this happened. Oh yeah, I met this guy, and yeah, it was just oh wow. So anyway, but yeah, it's all good. Every tour is like a different experience, it seems. So
I think
and Steve, like you were saying, it's kind of funny too. When no matter what happens, like you say, the second you walk on that stage, you better flip that switch if you're not in a good place. Yeah. And I mean, we've dealt with a lot of resistance, not this tour, but another tour. I had words with somebody and we were about to throw down with one of the crew members in one of the other bands, literally 5 minutes before I had to go out and be all positive. So I said, okay, just walk this off, flip that switch, because you know what these people out here are here for.
They come to be entertained. Exactly. They don't come listen to your shit. Exactly right.
Yeah,
just shake it all off.
Yeah,
get out there.
That's kind of a talent in itself, right there, to be able to do that.
It's hard to do.
You know?
Yeah,
it's hard to do.
Yeah, I remember once. I remember once on a tour I did back in Europe. My conga player then, and one of the roadies, there were two gay guys. They had a relationship, and they're in the truck in the back, and they had a fight. And we're driving behind the truck in the car. And suddenly the door opens and the conga player hangs out of the truck on the highway. He wants to jump. So I know what happens sometimes on tour. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah, shake it off, man.
Yeah. Still got to go on stage and perform. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
But I tell you what, sorry for interrupting you, Steve. I tell you what, I really wish and hope we can get this together to bring you over to Europe. And what you will experience is that touring Europe is a different experience than touring America because the distances between large cities are so much smaller.
Yeah.
So you drive 2 hours and you're in the next 1 million plus people city. And then you drive 1.5 hours and then you're in another 500,000 people city. So you don't have the 13, 14, 16 hours between. And if the tour is planned well, it makes a huge difference for your energy levels because you don't spend a lot of time driving and all that.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I know it's beautiful over there. And, my great grandfather is from Germany and grandmother, they're all from there. So I've never got to visit my homeland.
I can't wait to show you guys Europe and show you my back door.
Yeah. But with my last name, Dorsum, I'm full-blooded German.
Awesome. Yeah. It's a German name. Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say, Steve?
Oh, I was just going to allude back to the tour, all the emotions we felt. I mean, we were beat up, we were bruised, we were cut, we were, we were mad, we were happy, we were angry, we were blessed. We were all these different emotions that you felt. You felt everything from A to Z on that tour. He really did.
Wonderful.
It was kind of wild, So, and I got to bring my son with us, who's 22. He actually was our driver. And he's a stud at driving. Oh my God, he drove us through New York City, and we were all closing our eyes with nails in the seat, going, "Oh my God, hurry up, get here!" And it's just he did a good job, and he ran the merch for us too. So, and he acted as my assistant tour manager. He's so smart and handles things for me. But that was a big blessing having him with us because he kind of handled all of our needs and everything. I really called him the tour manager because he was really handling a lot of stuff for us, but I just kind of put it.
It's so great to have such a relationship with your son now.
Yeah,
must be very proud. Yeah,
yeah. He really had a good time coming and watching us play, and he was. We were in San Francisco one night. It was a sold out show, and really we did a really good job. And he was so proud when we got off stage. He was so proud. He's like, "That's my dad up there." It's like, it was just cool to see. It was nice.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, all I can say is I know Klaus is working hard on getting you onto festivals, and hopefully we can get you some serious festival gigs. And then once we have those in place, we can build around it.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at, and that's what we're working on. So hopefully that all works. And then I will really look forward to spend some time with you on the road and, show you, like, there's an area between Koblenz and Mainz. It's a part of the Rhine. And you drive along the Rhine, and every 3 kilometers you have a castle on either side of the river, and the best wine and fantastic food. And so many corners like this in Europe that you will enjoy.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. I want to test out your driving too. I want to check your driving skills out. See how you are.
Oh, we're going to take you on the German highway. There's no speed limit. You can go as fast as you can.
As long as you can get me to have a beer somewhere, we're all right. So I trust that you'll make that happen. So no, Helmut. Seriously though, we're preparing right now for the unknown. For over there. So we're preparing our set list that we want to bring over there, and that's what we're doing right now, along with a little bit of writing that Gordon's doing. So just know that we're preparing for the unknown as we speak.
Yeah, great.
We always want to be a leg up on everything.
Guys, to round this off, anything you want to say to your fans or to your family or friends, just to round off the interview? Please, your words of wisdom.
Well, we put a lot of heart and visuals into our music videos. So I say, if you maybe have not heard of Images of Eden, it would be probably a good idea to start with the music videos, because you get a good visual, you get a good feel of really what we're trying to do in metal and hard rock music. So you can go to our social media, like Gordon, our website has everything, right? Images.
Yeah, I just direct everybody. Yeah, I just direct everybody imagesofeden.com, because we make sure that we link everything to our site. So it's kind of a one-stop shop. And when you get there, you can see that there's a lot of information and a lot of stuff to kind of sift through and dig through. I mean, anything you could want, pics, lyrics, online store, social media, videos, everything you could need.
T-shirts. Yeah. I got my T-shirt today. Thank you so much for sending it.
Yeah. No, but that's it. And again, Helmut, we so appreciate everything you and Klaus are doing, and couldn't thank you enough. And, we will be able to thank you in person, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yes, sir.
Very much looking forward to that. Okay, guys. Well, I wish you a great day. It's morning over there. It's evening over here. So have a great day, and we'll speak very soon.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.